everyone, it's Lori. I'm back with another process video for the Spiegel Mom Scraps design team. Remember, you can use the code Lorimar15 to get 15% discount on your next Spiegel Mom Scraps order. And trust me, you're gonna need it because this is one of those other layouts where you can bash a lot of stash. So if you received the Spiegel Mom Scraps Sunday Sparkler last Sunday, I made a layout where I used lots of sequins. This time I am going to be doing more or less the same thing. I'm gonna bash a lot of different stash of sequins, but I'm gonna do it in a different way. So I started out with a white textured cardstock, and I'm using two different sizes of floral stamps to stamp randomly on the background. The type of ink that I'm using is archival ink, and I'm not paying attention to where the flowers are landing. Some of them end up on the border. In fact, wait, I used 3 different stamps. Now the idea that I have in mind is that after I color these flowers, so I've created my own background paper to start. So afterwards, I'm going to tone on tone fill the centers of the flowers with sequins. So just to call out the names of the of the colors, these are shimmers. The purple one is plum pudding. That teal one is Love Ocean number 9. The red, which was the first one that I used, is Mango Tango. The green one is Lucky Clover. The yellow one is Glorious Day. This orange one is called Freshly Squeezed. And then the hot pink one, which I bring in a bit, is Pink Stilettos, which is, it's a bit pink, but it's also on like the purplish side. And for all of these flowers, what I did, I noticed that I had like a white space right over here, so I added another flower and I colored it with orange. Then I went in with other products of shimmers and just splattered the flowers with a different tone of the same color. So I used Jilted Jade for the green. For red, I used Buddy's favorite color. This is Pip Pip Cheerio, which I used on the fuchsia color. For the yellow, I used Limoncello. I used Orange Sherbet for the orange, and Pull Me Closer for the teal. So, first off, for the flowers, I used the packaging technique. I just sprayed the color and I tapped it on top of the flower. No rhyme or reason. I don't mind that some of the flowers are not filled in completely. I don't. That just adds to the messy factor. And then to add a bit of more of dimension and tone, I splattered the other colors tone on top of each of the flowers. So I set that aside, and I have these 3 pictures. These 3 pictures each measure 4x4, but I'm going to trim them down. The smallest one is 2 by 3.5. Then the other one is roughly 3.5 by 3.5. Actually 3 by 3, and the other one, the larger one, is about 3.5-ish by 3.5-ish. Then I'm going to map them with this off-white and black sort of vine paper from the 6x8 paper pad from Vicky Bouton's. I think this is Color Kaleidoscope. I could be wrong, but it's one of the Vicky Bouton collections. It's fitting because the stamps that I used are also from her collection, and all the embellishments that I end up using are from her collection as well. Then I used the pop-up tape from that you can buy at the Spiegel Mom Scraps shop to pop up my pictures. I love it because it's just thin enough to be able to add, like, double it up if you need to. I didn't need to do so, but it's definitely an option if you want to. And then my background was all dry, and yeah, I had a bit of a struggle trying to take off the back. I go on my merry way. And the way that I arranged the pictures is that I placed the larger picture at the bottom, the sort of medium-sized picture on top, and then the smallest, like, at the top, sort of. And I'm also paying attention to where I'm looking at in the picture. So if you notice, the biggest picture I'm looking, like, sort of off the page, and I do that on purpose because right where I'm staring off is where I'm going to be placing the title. And the middle photo is right, like, I'm sort of staring down, like if I were staring down at my other picture. So it all works out. I love that sort of placement where, it just makes sense. I don't know. So I go ahead, add the title, which is remember, and right beneath the title, I'm not going to add anything because that's where I'm going to place the journaling. I used 2 of these little banner strips, cut them up, and sort of like placed them on the picture. I thought about using that bird at the top, but it just took so much away from the overall layout that I decided not to do so. In the end, I'm going to use most of the floral die cuts that you find in the collection. I'm just going to cut them up in half to sort of balance them out towards the one. I'm going to place one cluster towards the left hand side of the lower picture and the other cluster towards the upper, like towards the left, towards the right hand side of the smallest picture, and right up top the second picture. I'm also going to be adding in some of these, 2 of the butterflies actually, and some of the leaves because it plays well with the colors. And then here's where I get to adding the sequins. Now I waited until after I added everything in so that I could see what openings, where I could place my sequins instead of placing sequins everywhere and then end up losing them. So for the purple, I used Lavender Fields. For the green, I used Lush Lime. And basically, this is nothing new. I just added like a blob of glue in the center, and then I just started placing the sequins in. For the orange, I used the Sierra Nevada sequin packet. And as I'm trying to place the sequins, I'm trying to mix the sequins up so that I could get like different tones of the same color. For the yellow, I always forget the yellow one. I don't think it's lemon something, but it has little stars in it. I'll link it down below. This is Crushing It, which is pretty old sequin packet. I'm using that to fill in the teal. For the red, I'm using the the Granny Afghan sequin packet to fill in the pink, the hot pink. Granny Afghan for the red, and then for the hot pink, I'm using Strawberry Fields. Yeah, there I'm trying to organize it a bit. Anyways, to finish off the layout, I used Taupe of the Morning, which is a shimmers, to add a bit of splatter of black to the layout. And here are the close-ups. I love how messy it is. I love that I made my own background, that I used so many sequins. I hope I've inspired you to get your stamps out and to bling those stamps out with sequins. If anything, guys, I will see you back soon with another process video.